I am excited about this podcast today because I think with today's guest, it's going to get a little bit spicy, and I'm looking forward to this. Welcome, Zack, to Secrets and Sabotage. How you
Thank
doing,
you.
mate?
I'm doing well. Why do you think it's going to be spicy having me?
Oh, because you think before there's so the part people don't see before we get recording is the setup of the podcast, and I've been sat here just listening to the two of you have conversations.
Lies. Absolutely lies. I've said nothing.
Yeah.
And it just seems like with all the other guests that we've had, you've not always enjoyed the experience that you had.
I get a little bit of flack from other castmates when I talk about my experience on the show, because I'm adamant that I just hated every moment of it and did not enjoy it. And they're like, no, what are you talking about? You had a great time. We were joking around. And yeah, I was having fun with them, and you have a lot of downtime on the show and waiting time, as you'll know, where you're sat there for like 4 or 5 hours waiting for the next task to begin, and you have a little bit of chit-chat with your other castmates, and you talk about things like their lives. But beyond that, I was just in a deep ball of anxiety and panic like the entire time. My mental health was not good in the show, so I think that probably contributes to why I didn't enjoy it.
Right.
But I'll chip in on that point. I will have to say, like, and I've said you're going to take the piss out of me, but you were one of my favourites.
Thank you.
So hence the reason you're here. I'll tell you
Good taste.
why you're one of my favourites. Because you were exceptional at the round table, whether you were nervous or not, but you were very outspoken.
Yeah.
You would defend yourself. You would attack people. You would have good justification for the reasons you were. It was lovely to watch someone not shy away at that round table and actually step up. You got some of the great moments within series 2. I know it is hard. It does take its toll on your mental health, and the anxiety is real, isn't it? It's there.
Yeah.
But from a viewer, and obviously being a contestant myself, watching number 2, I really enjoyed number 2. But I really you were one of the standout characters, I would
Thank
say,
you.
from number 2.
Yeah.
Also, when you had your things to say around the round table, you were one of the people that actually had a reason. Because there's so many times you hear people say, this is why I think they're a traitor, because he tied his shoes up differently
Yeah,
when he did the other day. And I was like, that's not a reason.
No.
Because you actually had reasons.
The one from last season was traitorish behaviour.
Traitorous behaviour.
Traitorish
Yeah.
behaviour. And classic, the person who started that term was a traitor. So obviously,
funny that.
yeah. I just knew that going in there, I was never going to get voted out of a round table. It was my goal just to, if I was going to get killed, murdered, and I thought I'd only been in there for about 2 episodes, but everyone was throwing the heat on me, so I wasn't really a target and a threat to the traitors. But yeah, I just knew that I could hold my own argument or a debate with someone.
Absolutely,
Because
yeah.
I come from quite a political background, and obviously arguing and debating is second nature, and I'm never one to shy away from that. So it was honestly quite easy at times just to throw around some good logic and be like, oh god, he's got a good point. Yeah, I can't. He's actually made a little bit of sense.
Articulate, the way you'd done it. Yeah, it was a very structured, calm. You could calm things down. It came on top for you quite a few times in there. And those are some of the key moments. And obviously you've done really well. You got really far on the show. But yeah, it's one of my highlights of how you portrayed yourself and worked at the round table. Is definitely your strength. You didn't shy away from confrontation. You had great points, and God knows, how you survived some of them
I don't know.
tables as well. But you turned it around multiple times, so it was fascinating to watch.
There was one after the episode where I got the shield in the Scarecrow Challenge, where I knew going in there I was probably going to be out, and I think it was Charlotte who she was arguing with me about why to the shield or something, or Miles was saying that it didn't match, the actions I was doing versus the words I was saying. But then after hearing me out and hearing me talk about why I went for it and why it would mean I was a traitor, Charlotte was like, I didn't believe you going into this, but now I think you're actually faithful. So genuinely, being able to sway people around the table was a big part of why I was good, but it's also led people to claim that I'm arrogant and obnoxious outside the show. And
Where's that come from? Is that
I hope you're joking. I don't think it's grounded in reality. I think me being forceful in arguments has made me look like I'm a bit arrogant at times, and I think that my view is the only way forward, or the only reasonable suggestion. But I think I'm. Yeah, maybe I am.
No, I'll say people get mistaken with confidence and arrogance. There's a thin line between the two. I don't think you come across arrogant in any way, shape, or form. I've spoke to you on social media after. I think you're a really nice, genuine guy.
Thank you.
But
I'm complete opposite. He walked in, and I thought that is an arrogant
walk.
It was a walk.
He strutted in.
He got here on
Hunched
time.
over.
Yeah.
Just
The confidence of a man that knew the travel route here. And I thought, what?
yeah, I live 10 minutes away. So.
Have you got any? When you did you watch it back? First of all, have you watched the show back? Did you watch it? Okay, this is such a big thing for a lot of the contestants.
Did you watch season 1?
I watched
bits?
all the round tables. I didn't
Right.
really like the challenges. So I avoided all the challenges like the plague. And then
Straight to the.
I
Straight
watched
to the
the
money shot.
breakfast. I watched I watched every scene in the house basically.
Yeah.
Everything in the castle even. So breakfast, the bits of talking in between, and the round table, and then the traitors in the turret afterwards. And I think they're the best bits of the show. I think the challenges are a bit stupid.
So many people, and it's such a common thing. We see so many people arguing online about why they do. I think the challenges are there to obviously fill the gap in the middle, build a bit of team player.
Yeah.
The shields are slightly different with you guys as well, so we can start to isolate people, pinpoint people. So I see the reason they're there, but most people just want to get to the breakfast.
Yeah.
Anything in between, and it's very common. And obviously the round tables is where it's.
Yeah, I did not like the challenges when I was filming. I enjoyed, and the bits I enjoyed watching were the bits I enjoyed in real life, like the plotting and manipulating around the castle and trying to get people on side and chatting about who you think it might be. And people don't realise there's very, very little time for it. You have about 2-3 hours per day to actually talk about who you think the traitors are. So the traitors have a big advantage on that. You never really like getting together and plotting who you think it is. So I love those bits, and I'm a gossip as well. So it was nice.
Yeah, you're a listener, but you're, like I say, great engager, and like I say, it's definitely one of your key points. I mean, are you proud with how you done on the show? From a viewer, I think you've done amazing, mate. I think you've done a really, really good job. I think it's a miracle you survived as long as you did, and you were one of the last on the show. So to get that is a massive achievement.
How many episodes do you think my girlfriend thought I was going to survive?
1.
Let's have a guess.
Was it 1?
Give it a bit of justice.
I'd say 3.
3, yeah.
3.
It was 3.
Yeah.
She's like, there's no way you're going to win. No way you're getting through 3 episodes. You're going to rub people up the wrong way. People are going to hate you. Think you're strange. They just vote you off.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of the casting as well. Sometimes you think, I always call it's the worst. It's the most awkward family barbecue you could ever imagine. But in there, that's exactly what they want. All different personalities, all different walks of life. And it is quite daunting, like the first few. For me, my journey's slightly different. I bypassed 3 episodes and come in at 5. But for you, them first few episodes.
It's quite nice. You didn't have like the build-up of the trauma.
But then I came in and we've come in, hi guys, we're back. And then things moved up notches massively. But I missed them. I would quite say, I've not experienced it, but those episode 1, 2, 3, 4 are probably quite like little cliques building, people more vocal than the others. It's quite probably a daunting time to be in the castle, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. We with Amos, we split up.
Split up? No, we were completely isolated from each other. It had to be that way. When we found out, we were going home. Obviously, me and Amos were absolutely devastated, and I mean devastated. Bearing in mind how long it takes to get on that show. What
was the reason you were at the end of the queue?
I still now stand by. I had a feeling when she'd lined up, and obviously they prep you saying there's going to be twists and turns. There's going to be. I never see it coming. No one saw it coming. Only a few people knew it was actually happening, apparently. But I honestly thought, and I said it on the season, I thought we'd be the cocky one to go to the end. Yeah, I've got I've got this hands down. I'm going to win this. I thought they're going to do something.
He did so well, didn't he?
Oh, if they're going to do something, it backfired on me. I thought, right, I'm going to play it safe. But actually, looking back, thinking either way, I stood out either side. So
a funny thing about the lineup from our season was, at least for me, me and Jasmine were really close the entire time. And
you had a good bond with Jasmine.
Yeah, this started in the line where you lined up, and this got you in order of who wants to be traitor from most to least. And they also ask you which one of you wants to be a traitor, and obviously no one puts their hands up. I was stood next to Jasmine and just whacked her arm up a little bit. So her arm goes up and she's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, I've never seen that bit.
It was in. I think they took like 2 or 3 cuts of it, and in one of them she was just like, "Fuck off, Zack,"
because that's a bit of trickery straight away, isn't it? But that's a funny thing to do. I love that.
Yeah, we were immediately just taking the piss out of each other. We got on like a house on fire. So
because obviously you said you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
When you applied for it, I'm assuming you didn't apply for it thinking I'm gonna fucking hate this. So when did you realise I do not like this?
It was the round table with Ash, where everyone else voted for Ash and I didn't.
Yeah.
And I was dead certain Ash wasn't a traitor. I just thought she was playing it so badly that she couldn't be a traitor. And I love Ash, so she should be fine me saying that. But like, she was not a good traitor, and she knows that. I've got a bit horrible.
No, it's just, I mean, people deal with it in different ways.
Yeah, it was the way Sonia cornered her. It was like, asked about, she was eating, and she's like, "Are you a traitor?"
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh God, that's the worst thing you can say."
Who?
And I was like, "There's no way she's a traitor. Like, if she is, she's playing it terribly." So we were at that round table. I was the only person, I think, Bob, I think maybe one other person who voted for. I think like it was like a personal like revenge sort of, because you have like the personal rivalries where someone just votes for someone.
Oh, absolutely, that's real, yeah.
So everyone voted for Ash basically except me, and you just feel like the world closes in on you. You're like, oh, really? They're coming for me tomorrow.
Oh man, you're a massive target. Yeah.
And that night I cried on the show. When you get pulled out the castle and you go back, I was outside with one of the production team just like sobbing, and
oh, you cried off camera?
Yeah, I cried off camera.
Kieron likes to cry on camera.
Yeah,
when he cries.
Thanks.
Did you cry on camera? Your season were teary.
He loves to cry.
So soft.
See Niagara Falls and all.
Yeah.
So even looking back through these episodes, what I forgot about was on one of the early episodes, I think it was with Theo, and he was going, "Yeah, I'm not an emotional guy." I'm like, hold on, you fucking are. You cry all the time.
Mate, I've cried about 5 times in my life. I swear to God, I cried. I got a little bit upset. Well, obviously, when Amos was taken away from me cruelly, when I'd lost my brother. And obviously, you know their days are free. One day is like 3 or 4 days. It's like a time warp in there. And you do get bonds, like you and Jasmine, the same thing. I had a massive bond with Amos. We had that horrific twist at the beginning, and I absolutely adored him. I'm very good friends with him now. We're best of friends outside the show.
Seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he's an absolute legend. And I was absolutely heartbroken because me and him had a good plan. Like we had a good structure and a plan. When he was snatched away from me, I'm gonna cry.
But bringing it up again.
But it tapped into emotions I didn't know I had, and it's I wouldn't say daunting. It's like you're just out of sync. You're not used to that environment.
You're sleeping like 4 hours a night.
It's brutal.
You're not really eating well because you're so panicked.
Your night's sleep isn't really a good night's sleep because everyone shits. Unless you're a traitor, you sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
So traitors always going to sleep well. So that's one good thing they have.
That said, though, they are in later. They get back at like 3 a.m. Whereas we were back at like 1 a.m. 2 a.m.
But they've murdered someone. They can sleep like a baby. They're all right.
Yeah. Why have I got any pity for them?
Yeah. We wake up and like the second you open your eyes, thinking, "Is this my last day? Is this the day I'm going to go?"
Yeah. I was so relieved to see my envelope. Yeah. I was.
What was the feeling like for you on that when
I was happy.
Were you ready to go? Were you like, I am done?
Yeah, I was saying every day to everyone that I couldn't wait to leave because I was just. I got asked by the psychiatrist on the show if I wanted to leave, and they were really worried about me because I was having these the story earlier. Like I was crying and I had panic attacks basically after the Ash thing, and the next day I was basically isolated as the main target to go for and didn't get voted off. I was having panic attacks basically every day and not sleeping and worrying all day long. So they were just like, I think it was like after the pooled round table, I was so relieved. And then the psych pulled me and she was like, "Isn't this a great way to leave? You got the person out you wanted to. You did really well. Just go home." And I was like, no, I feel like the mental damage they've done to me in the Traitors, I need to stay and get them out.
Yeah, I love that. Great thing. You do get looked after. I mean, welfare for me, we had welfare very early, me and Amos, because obviously dealing with getting thrown out. So that's one thing I can say, that you are looked after and checked on all the time there.
Are you going to watch series 3?
I don't know yet. I think at some point I'm going to rewatch my series, maybe before season 3.
You haven't got long.
No, but I think
It's got to be in the right frame of mind to watch it. I watched it live. It brought back horrific anxiety for me, so I left it. And it was on it's been on the last couple of weeks on TV, and I turned it. I turned it back off. I was like,
fuck this.
I enjoyed number 2 so much as a viewer, but number 1 just brings. But I love it. And
it's nice to know that maybe I will watch season 3, hearing you enjoyed watching it as a viewer.
Yeah, I think, remember, you guys are reigning supreme. You are the king. You current kings. Like, we had to hand our crowns over. I think you're going to be in the same situation as me. You will find it a lot easier watching number 3 than you will number 2.
Probably.
Yeah.
I know people are going to find it hard being yesterday's news as well, watching the show. I'm not going to struggle with that at all.
No. Oh, yeah, it is.
I'm thankful.
We know a lot of people that was on their season 1. Listen, that's the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, a lot of people who there's new characters coming out.
New blood now.
There was some beef at times with your season, so like it wasn't like smooth sailing, a smooth transition between season 1 and season 2. I know some people in your series actively didn't like us.
Yeah,
really?
Like
why?
I found this really amazing and quite so. I've just very quickly. I've heard that. And I'd say I'm not blowing smoke up your nose. I message every single contestant on the show. I wish you all good luck. I shared all of your profiles. I've been there. I know what he's like. But some people had proper green eye.
Yeah. Like you and Amos were great. For me personally, Amos, I had a massive chat with him like the day after, talking about my mental health, and he was so receptive to it, and it was lovely. And then other people from the series, Ivan as well. Me and him got on like a house on fire. He's been my DM for Dungeons and Dragons once.
Brilliant.
But not everyone gave that same reception that you had with them. And a lot of people couldn't care less or just wanted to profit off you.
Yeah, and also a lot of people didn't even follow, like, show support or anything like that, did they? Like, not a lot of people. Mate, I was like, I don't even know these people. I was like, I've been through the experience. I'm going to show them support from being there. And I literally messaged every single contestant, and I wish them all good luck. Some I had good luck. I messaged you quite a lot when the show was on, because obviously I was watching. You knew what happened, but when the episode's on, I was loving it. Like, your round tables were fucking epic. But I really got into it, so I showed the support. But yeah, I heard, and I was looking. I know there is some people out there that didn't even follow, show any interest, didn't message. Like, I was like, wow, okay.
It's the limelight. It's the bright lights that will turn a horrible shade of green, and it's because you think that was people. A lot of people, I think, will go into these shows thinking this is going to be my big.
Yeah, you're so true. You're so true. Yeah.
And if it doesn't happen, you're now resentful.
Reality check.
That the next person might have that chance.
Yeah.
So
that's why I feel more scared. I knew it would never be a big break, because I know I'm just like I'm just too much of a dick at times. People actually like me.
Yeah, but I want to more endearing. I love that.
I want to
I like characters. So
you've got that's the thing. You've got a personality, and I think watching you on season 2, you felt genuine, which I thought was quite nice.
He didn't have an ulterior motive. He just who he was.
Very, very genuine.
I said in like podcasts and interviews did after, there was no plan B. There's only plan A, which is, and I was excessively myself, like maybe to a detriment. Like I was too myself at times, which is really problematic if you know well.
Because I was like, you could eat, and you probably seen it. There's other people in there that came in with game plans, were acting roles, and that were different. Like, and obviously that it didn't work out for a lot of them. The people that remained true actually done quite well.
So, what's life after Traitors been like for you?
So the first 3 months, and you'll know this, is insane. It's like
mayhem.
You go out the house, and every time you pass someone, they're staring at you, and you can see eyes, and you're like, okay, they recognize me. Yeah. And people just come up to you constantly. It's honestly, whenever I got on the train to work or something, or going on a night out, it was almost constant for like 2-3 months, and I sort of hated it for the first month or two, then started to quite like it. Like, you think, like, this is specifically like for Jasmine as well, when she came out, and she was expecting, because she was black, to get a lot of shit just from like newspapers and like press associations and like tabloids and stuff like that. And I think it dawned on her straight away when the first thing that was ever published about her was about her like I think in one of the interviews she jokingly dissed Claudia or something, and I think I was in that interview with her, and it was like so casual and funny, but then they immediately twisted it. And were like,
no.
Angry black woman hates Claudia, and it was like a kind of daybreak. You're like, oh shit, this is real. And people,
we were talking about that earlier, weren't we, about how they get something, they look for twisting, because that's another
they
side.
want to paint you as like this.
I had some issues.
Misery sells. We love the downfall of some.
It's horrible, isn't it? You build them up, and it's like people have got feelings, and that's just nothing intent. I think some reporters shouldn't, like, they should be backfired. I'd love for it to be turned on them and let them go through what it is, because that news today, they're over there on another story. That person, it could really affect them. What if they went home and committed suicide and hung themselves?
How many times has that actually
exactly happened? So who's going to be held accountable for that?
No one.
It's an absolute piss take. Yeah. And we were saying it in the car on the way. It's like they have a team that go out and dig. It happened on one of the Big Brother contestants last year. Everyone's got a pass. Some people make mistakes. I tell you what, they might not be the same person they were then than they are now. Yeah. But what you do, like I say, it's news today that will haunt that person. I've had my own fair share. I know a lot of people have. It will haunt you. And if you're a bit of a person that can't deal with that, and who's going to be responsible? Someone fucking doing something bad to himself. I do hate that side. There's some brilliant reporters out there and brilliant journalists, and I've had some amazing interviews, but there's some dickheads out there.
That's why I deleted my Facebook before I went on the show, because I was just so like you go through it with a fine-tooth comb beforehand. Yeah. But I was just so scared about something slipping through the cracks. I deleted my Facebook, and now I'm gutted because no one cares about it.
No,
and now I've lost all these like memories when I was a kid.
Yeah, that is sad. Also,
like 10 years old.
I think something, and we know how. It's going on in the news at the minute. Like, things have changed over the last 10 years, 20 years. Things that could be said tongue in cheek are certainly are not acceptable now, and you will be absolutely targeted and destroyed if they find something. So
there's so much TV that was completely acceptable in the 70s, 80s, even 90s. That you watch back now and go, how the fuck did that?
Like things like Little Britain, they've pulled loads of them episodes, haven't they? They can't.
Mate, what's it called? What's the old TV show we had when we were kids? You're far too young for this one. Was it Grange Hill?
Grange Hill, yeah.
Some of the stuff that was in that.
I remember them.
And you just like, they put it back on and you go, I remember watching that as a kid. Yeah. Thinking, Love Thy Neighbour. Yeah. There's so much stuff in there. So you go, that was fine.
Oh yeah, you do cringe it now, thinking, Jesus Christ, how did that ever?
I watched some Sean Connery James Bond films recently. I was just like, I don't know if you've seen them.
Shivery.
It's just so misogynistic. Yeah, some for the better though, because you get like every 10 minutes into the episode, he's groping a girl or something.
Oh, she looks fantastic.
Shocking. It's honestly non-stop.
Any moments that you feel as though that would stand out that you did enjoy, Zack, on it, that you thought, I'm proud of that, like how you left, or some of your good gameplay and stuff, like anything that you, like a memory that you would cherish from the show?
Spotting Paul immediately was, 3 episodes in, I think was a big strength of mine.
Brilliant.
And I had an argument with Jazz about who spotted him first.
Yeah.
Jazz still maintained it's him.
It was definitely you.
It was definitely me.
Did you get that feeling?
There's evidence. There's video evidence that backs it up, mate.
He was just a fucking sociopath, Paul. So it was so good to get him out. Honestly, the way he is on the show is exactly how he is in person.
Everyone has said that. I've got to meet.
Which I think is quite troubling.
We've heard the stories. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, getting him out was amazing. Like the celebrations when you do get a traitor out, there's it's honestly like
it is
scoring a goal in a Champions League.
When we got Emmanuel out as well, and when you know you're right, but you just have to get your numbers right, don't you, at the table, and it's a massive. It is a relief, isn't it? Like right, but then. Yeah.
There are equally horrible moments where you go for someone who probably isn't a traitor, like the Johnny episode where we got Johnny out, and it was just like there was, you could feel like a palpable emotional shift after we got him out, and because he's so soft and so sweet, and everyone ganging up on him around the round table.
That was a horrible round. We had him on as a guest. It was a horrible round table to watch, and I think he would have had a lot to offer down the line.
Yeah,
I think there was a few people that, like Sonia that was in First of All, bless
Sonia would have been quality.
I think Sonia, it's one of my biggest regrets of season 2 of her going early, because I really do believe she missed a trick with Sonia. I really think she would have had like good TV. She would have bought some.
But it's just at the start when someone behaves strangely.
I made it.
And you want to stay in the show. You want to be like, I don't want to go out first. So you're gonna gang up on whoever you think's the weakest link.
It's herd mentality. People say, "Oh, you do it," and it does make me laugh. I spoke to other contestants, and especially when you see viewers going, "It's so obvious." It's like, guys, you see everything. There's only 44 players that have played that Traitors game.
When you look back at it now, and because I, from a viewing point of view, when I see someone like Paul, who's voted out someone he knows isn't obviously a traitor, and then they get up and go, "I'm a faithful." When you see everyone's reaction, like, fuck, we've got this one wrong, and how devastated they are, do you look back and go, he was a really good actor because that looked believable?
No, some of them he's smiling. So, I think a couple episodes he was smiling after he got out, and no one was looking at it because everyone's looking at the person standing up giving it. No one's looking at other people.
I made a beat. I always, there's some of the scenes you see. When someone went out, I would purposely not watch them. I'd be watching reactions.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'd be watching reactions of other people.
Season 3 is done now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Season 4.
But that was my first thing when I came in on episode 5. When they wasn't allowed to vote for us, we wasn't allowed to vote for them. I just studied around. That's why my first vote, was for Will, because I studied him at the table. When I came down to breakfast the next day, I said to Maddie, "You're bang on the money with Will." So Will, he stood out like a sore thumb at the table, but he had the result of him.
He did well, Will. He did a lot. It was under the cosh. But if you do apply that logic though, I constantly smile anyway. Like always laughing and smiling, and I can never take anything seriously.
It could be a nervous thing. It'd be how it could come across in all different.
And
ways.
I was probably sat there smiling when people got eliminated, and I was honestly just like a nervous tit. Yeah. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm awkward and strange.
It's like when you laugh at bad news. It is one of those.
It is, yeah. You don't mean it can be taken in the wrong context.
If you're looking for trouble, you will find it.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for someone with traitorous behaviour, it can be I was like, do you know what? You're looking at me too much in the eye. I don't trust that. It can be out right now. Don't stop.
I'm looking your way.
I should have told you don't make eye contact with him. I looked like, but I say people said like how you survived that long. When I opened the door one time and I had my trench coat on, I went, "Kieron, you just look like you scream traitor." I was watching.
You look traitor now.
I know, I do. I've just got that face.
I think it was the outfit. I think it was like the grey blazer.
Yeah, I know. I just made it
look like quite.
I could have dressed more inconspicuous.
Doctor Evil.
Dude, look like one villain.
If I'd have came in on one of them little chairs, turned around, stroking a cat at the table.
Yeah, it must be you, Wilf.
In your own life, what's going on at the moment as well? So obviously you're into politics. You always have been.
Yep.
What are you doing now?
Which I lied about on the show and didn't think it was worth telling people that I worked in politics because I thought there'd be like a target on my back for doing so. But my girlfriend was like, "Just why? Why would you lie about it?" Like,
you start on the lie, it's hard, isn't it? Yeah, you have to.
Like, and it's such a small lie. Like even watching some of the lies that people. Well, I say lies that people tell when
people jump on it though. Like, if you say you work in politics,
if you fart in the wrong way, like someone will, it is you. And when there's big numbers and big characters going for that person, you've seen it on the other tables. You have to go with it a little bit. You have to play. You have to survive, don't you?
It's one of the reasons I went for Ant at the start because we had a chat with like me, him, and Molly off camera, and we were just talking about like what you do and like what your job is, and he kept telling different people different things. He didn't keep his like career lie because he's a chess coach. He didn't want people to know he was a chess coach.
Trained dolphins.
So he was like, I do a bit of everything. He was saying like, I was a PT. He was, I'm a football coach. And then, like, he was saying, he was also talking about his family. Then when like you asked about like how old they or something.
Now you've got 5.
Yeah, I don't know if he does have kids, but he said he had kids. I was like, how old are they? And he was like, why are you asking? And I was like, what?
Oh, mate, scream at you, wouldn't you? You'd be like, right, bingo, first one in the bag.
This guy's acting sus. So I think Molly and I were like staring at each other during the conversation, like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
from our show, everyone sort of breaks off into little cliques, and I'm lucky enough to call quite a few of them my good friends. Only a small handful. Some of them we don't speak to. But is it the same for you? Do you keep in contact with some of your favourites?
Yes. So. They're all my favourites is the diplomatic answer.
Right.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone in season 2.
Yeah.
Text Paul, do you?
No. Some of them more favourite than others.
Yeah.
But like Jasmine, Molly, and Ross, we're like really close. We went for a bottomless brunch about a month after we finished filming.
Oh, lovely.
And we just got really pissed another night
good.
out together, and it was just like so cathartic. And from that, we're just like really close. We see each other often, like I think every month or something.
Oh, lovely. Love that.
I saw them about a month ago, and I'm supposed to be seeing them all tomorrow, but I can't go. It's Ross's birthday, so yeah. But besides that, Johnny came on my podcast.
Yeah.
Pint-sized history podcast, by the way, for those who are watching.
Go. What is it? What podcast?
It's a pint-sized history podcast, and it's a history podcast. We each week, my co-host and I take turns to be the student and the expert of a really important moment in history. So, like with Johnny, when he came on, we talked about Afghanistan, his time there, and honestly, it's a really, really, really good insight.
Very good, yeah.
I don't know if he talks about it on his episode, this podcast, but he is a fascinating guy, like super interesting.
Johnny's, I'd say, like I've got a lot of time for Johnny. I met him out socially.
He's one of a kind. Like
he is, mate. I gravitate to people that are a little bit different and people that are characters and stuff like that. And I liked him the second I met him. I really did. I don't like your normal fake, the pop. But I like the people that have got something about them. Someone that's got something.
Pissing people off because I was taking
I
piss
enjoyed
the
it.
entire time. Every time we would see Claudia, I would go, "Claudia, looking radiant today."
I love that shit. I love that. Yeah.
But like because of that, people didn't like me. Like Charlotte absolutely hated me, and like Paul didn't like me. Miles didn't like me. Miles obviously is playing games the traitor, and he's apologised to me profusely afterwards for the way he treated me on the show. And I love Miles now.
Miles is good fun as well, yeah.
But like Charlotte,
why did Charlotte hate you?
She just thought we just didn't click. Obviously, like you have people that you get along with, but you equally have people that you don't get along with very well. And Ant and Charlotte were the two people I just did not get along with very well. Not for like in one of the round tables, I was like, I think she started off by saying, "Zack, we don't like each other at the best of times." I was like, "Really? I thought we were friends."
When did this happen?
And then I was like, "What?"
That's come as a shock.
I thought you were best friends.
We were so close. But I know we're not close, but
you made a point at the beginning where some people would just attack someone or just go for someone just because they didn't really like them, and they would start. And if they had influence, they would be. They would try, and that's the annoying thing in the table. Lucky you had the balls to defend yourself and fight back. Because other people, you've seen it, they've turned on them. Brian, we had Brian on, bless him. Do you know what I mean? With his round table at the end, and I felt it was horrible to watch. He just had a meltdown at the table, but he's trying to defend himself. So
I felt so bad for not defending Brian.
Yeah,
Brian literally defended me. Defended me for the exact same thing. Yeah. Literally, you don't see in that episode, but so that episode, they were dead set on getting someone out who was just a bit kooky and a bit, and like maybe was a bit.
They were
nervous.
looking at anyone, weren't they? Could have been.
They were thinking like, if you're nervous or you're anxious, it's a telltale sign you're a traitor, which is so peak. Because I was sat there like every time having panic attacks. So Brian had like the same, like sort of behaviors. Like he's got like ADHD and anxiety like me. So like when they started picking on him, they picked on me at the beginning of that round table. And then for some reason, someone shifted to Brian, and he went full meltdown, like you saw. And I feel so bad because he literally spoke up for me maybe 10 minutes before for not turning around and being like, "This is exactly what you're doing to me," because I didn't want eyes to get put back on me. You just have to,
mate. It does come to survival sometimes.
Yeah. You want to stand by your convictions, but at the same time, you need to play the game.
Yeah,
and I couldn't put my neck out for him.
That's a really difficult tightrope to balance as well.
It's tough.
You say about doing the challenges. Because the good thing about the challenges is it takes the focus off what you're doing, and all of a sudden your mind frame is different. Because round table, you're trying to get someone out. Challenges, you're all trying to earn as much money as you can. It's the potential now. So it is a horrible tightrope you must have to balance up.
Yeah, and then having to work with people you think are traitors and for the greater good, even though you're like, something's up with them, like being on the same.
You've got to play the game, haven't you? You got to try and survive. So if you do, and there's, we've said it with other contestants, I think if you've got a level of intelligence, there's a time to talk, there's a time to shut up, there's a time to play the middle ground. It's just you need to determine when that time is. So.
I also always seem to be the person in the show who, for our season, for some reason, always delivered the bad news.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remember, I had the chat with Miles and Paul just before their roundtables. Miles and I were in the library, and we were talking about why people were voting Miles out. It was actually just
That was
me
the
and
day Miles went, wasn't it? When he got
everyone was sitting in the library with me. Me and Miles were in the library with like everyone else, and all of a sudden everyone leaves when Miles comes in, and I'm sat there with Miles, being like, I'm not gonna just leave. That's like really rude. So I sat there, and then obviously he asked me about the D7, what everyone's planning on voting for, and I'm like, everyone's going to be voting for you. It's because you've done this, and this today. And probably given them more ammunition than they needed. And the next day with Paul, we had a literal shouting fest in the hallway for about an hour long of me telling him why I think I was voting for him and everyone was voting for him as well. But then I also had darker moments where I took Johnny to the side because I was friends with him and sat with him outside in the pagoda, telling him why everyone was going to vote for him, even though he was an innocent.
If you had the option, would you do something else with reality that would be more... that is not so stressful?
I would love to do Race Across the World.
That's the best, isn't it?
Yeah, that look really cool. But I think I haven't done much travelling besides Europe. I've travelled a lot across Europe, but I've not done any of the rest of the world. So I'd love to do that. It'd be a great mechanism to do that. And I think I'd be good content doing it. Just
absolutely,
fucking around with some random Vietnamese bar or something.
I think that's one of the most appealing ones out there because of how it's run, how it's produced, how it's set up. But
it takes a long time. I think you're gone for about 12 weeks.
Yeah, I would have thought.
I'm very aware though there's a big queue before it gets to me. So,
but yeah, it'd be great.
Does you work with an agent now for anything?
No, I'm one of the few people who doesn't have an agent in our series.
It's not a few. There's loads, mate. Loads of people don't.
Really?
Yeah, loads of people don't come. Or they do, then it fizzles out.
I know a lot of people who do have an agent, and it sounds like it works really well for them, and what they want to do, and the agent's really helpful for that. But I don't know what an agent could do for me besides plugging my podcast, which I just did now.
Very well, I might add.
Well, how long's the shoot for? Like for the whole show?
It depends how long you get in for, but I think I was there for about 3.5 weeks, maybe 20. I think maybe just under 3
and that's
weeks.
An intense 3.5 weeks.
Yeah,
so
because you've got your cuts off from the world. And I remember going to Faliraki in 2002 or whenever it was for a 2-week holiday back pre-internet on your phone when you're abroad, and that 2 weeks felt like a month and a half. So you think for 3 weeks that must have felt like so much longer.
And it's not over once you've left it as well. Kind of sticks in you for about 3 weeks after that.
Absolutely.
When you finish the show, your mind's not finished with it.
Your mind's still in gameplay, isn't it?
So I was in a really
not
bad...
trusting people in daily life.
I wasn't the same for about a month afterwards. My girlfriend was like, you were pretty much a husk of a man after you go out there. Like you were just...
Takes its toll.
Yeah, I was panicking all day long and I was just so stressed out about everything, and then suddenly, slowly but surely, start like building back a bit. And then broken down again when the show comes out, and everyone's laughing at you for being shit with crossbow, even thinking you're amazing at it.
You did speak a game.
Fuck me, that was honestly.
You did speak a really good game.
That's if I have a regret from the show, it's that episode where I thought I was gonna be so good with it. Let me tell you, it was not a crossbow; it was a ballista.
There's a difference. Yeah,
there's a fucking difference. It's fixed. It's fixed.
Oh, that was definitely one of my favorite points.
I remember. That was probably the lowest it's been in terms of like actually watching the show. Post filming the show was coming out of a 5-a-side game at 9 o'clock. So this is when the show was being aired. Coming back to about 200 messages and texts and WhatsApps of people being like, "You stupid! Why the fuck did you do that? What were you thinking? What was going through your head?" And I'm just like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. And then obviously, slowly but surely, you start seeing the memes and stuff that people have made of like me as Archer and stuff like that. And like Robin Hood or something with like me painted over.
I thought I'd take TV seriously, but seeing even with stand up, some of the people that I read through the comments, and I'm like, it's a joke, right?
Yeah.
People, some of the stuff was like,
I'll put that to bed a long time ago. I'll get more. I just find it funny. The more controversial it is, the more obviously it's a talking point.
I respond to people now, but I do it in a way I'll agree with them.
Yeah.
If any sort of trolling, so I remember there's one joke up on my Instagram, and someone put, "It's not funny," and I replied, "No, I think you're right, mate. I think it's shit."
Yeah.
and then they replied, "That's not funny." I was like, "Oh no, I'm agreeing with you."
Yeah.
and I'll just keep doing it now because it makes me giggle.
I think loads of people. I know Will has loads of stick. I know. I had people from your show messaging me saying, "How do you deal with like the abuse and stuff like that?" I was like, I really don't know what to say to it, because I said, like, just depends who. I do think they're the same sort of cretins, though. The people that abuse some of the contestants from Mars move on to like Love Island, move on to another show. They're just horrible people that hide in the background.
Paul got it badly. Paul got it really badly. Yeah.
Not surprised though.
No, sort of actually, honestly, deserved. He emotionally manipulated me so badly, the dickhead.
But tell us how you really feel.
No, I've got nothing but love for him.